One second. You're right. Okay. Here are the minutes.
Those.
If you gentlemen would, these are the minutes from February 25th. If you could sign those again. I found one other typo
Okay.
that I forgot to correct. I called Doug David
Yeah.
Oh,
for some reason.
Wasn't
So
that the one I
I've
sent
been
you?
called
Yeah.
worse.
But I don't think I got it till after, well, it doesn't matter. So you're signing two sets of minutes so that the signed minutes are correct.
This is the March 4th one here.
it's the corrected.
You have March 4th and February 25th.
Okay.
Take your time, Tony. I know where.
Try to get back down as quick as I could.
We are good.
This is something I gave to Doug. Doug already has the,
Okay, got that. Vehicle list.
and this is Ed's treasure report, and he'll be getting them right there.
Thank you.
The word harried, I feel harried. Isn't that a word?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let me see if there's anything else I need to hand to all of you. After that, I'll be ready. I think I'm ready. Sorry about being late.
Go right ahead.
Like I said, that's a bill for that, for the state of the county.
Okay.
We already paid it.
Okay, good deal.
I don't know if that's what it is or not.
Good deal.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So, if we're ready for me, let me close out of council and open up commissioners. I'll get to that in a minute. The first item I have is payroll claims. The payroll claims are in the amount of $395,083.87. $395,083.87.
Move that we pay payroll for 395,083.87.
Second.
Motion passes.
Okay. You should have received the payroll time card approvals for appointed department heads also via email.
We did. Everybody had a chance to take. a
I
look at the
reviewed
cards.
those. I didn't see any,
Yeah, I looked at them and can I ask a question out of ignorance, Shannon? Chauncey Cook is replacing,
It's WCD.
Soil and water.
Soil and
Her-
water.
She goes by Michaela.
that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw that time card, I thought, this doesn't
Yeah,
make
she goes
sense.
by Michaela. She replaced Tyler Schumann.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I know Mikhail, yeah,
Yep.
okay. Thank you. So yeah, I would second that motion to
Okay.
approve those time cards.
Doug and Stan, that motion passes.
Stan made motion, I'll second Stan's
Okay,
motion.
Stan and Doug then.
Okay. I had emailed you a copy of the monthly clerk report. If you would like to see it in physical copy, I have it here. And again, I email those out because it's several pages and it's just saves on consumption.
Move we approve, clerk.
Yeah, I'd second that. Enter it into record.
Motion carries. Doug and Stan, thanks, guys.
Okay. We have Allied weekly health insurance claims. Those are in the amount of $66,428.96. Look here, tell you what they are. And I verified claimants. It is, prescription was $37,693. Medical was $34,075.57. There was some stop loss reimbursement. So the total ended up being $66,428.96.
Very good. Motion to approve.
I'll second the
Okay,
motion.
motion Perry,
Already stamped the
carries.
name on that
Stan
one.
and Doug.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Eastern Alliance Workers' Comp. And that is in the amount of $2,745.49, which I will pass down to you for you to look at. Linda said apologies for this. She accidentally cut in a little, but it's still okay. It's still
Happens to me
okay.
when I open that stuff up too, so I blame it on the people that put it in the envelope. There's the workman's comp stuff.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Okay, we have,
I don't know, I need a motion yet
Oh,
on
I'm sorry.
workers'
I thought-
comp.
I
You're
thought I
okay,
heard it.
you're okay, no.
So move,
Second.
approve workman's comp.
Okay, that motion passes.
okay. And then we also have the Allied monthly administrative fee. And that is in the amount of $70,944.85. $79,44.85. And we go.
Tony, does that change as we have more or less people on
I
stop
believe it
loss?
does,
Yeah,
depending on how many we have on the,
okay.
is that right, Shannon?
Yeah,
How many do we have on stop loss rate?
Well, all of the eligible employees who participate in the plan have stop loss reimbursement coverage.
Right.
But the monthly admin fee is a combination of true TPA admin fees and the stop loss insurance. So the $70K doesn't go to Allied or just admin. They then pay a portion to Ardell, if that's who it is this year, sorry, to Ardell on
Stop
our behalf.
loss.
Our reinsurance.
Right.
But like if I go off the plan, then those fees for me for stop loss and admin no longer exist. So that's it. On enrollment.
But I mean, do we have people lasered out right now?
We have lasers, yes,
Okay.
but we still pay it's just like any other insurance, we still pay the premium regardless if they have a laser or not.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. That's what I wondered if that affected that premium.
Okay, we need a motion on the allied admin fees, guys.
Move we accept.
Second.
Motion passes. Doug and Stan.
Okay, and the only other thing I had, Clayton is going to do under county attorney, so that would be all that I have.
Okay. Back to the agenda. What are we at? Nate, what have you got for us? Short report today.
Good morning still, all right? Hey, just a couple of updates for you. Community Crossings matching grant, I know we've talked about it, it's been in the paper already. But Adams County was awarded $1.5 million for the construction of Bridge 180 and then the section of County Road 300 North from US 27 to 700 West. So both the projects we submitted, we got the full amount that we had requested. So congratulations to everybody involved in that. So I'm pretty happy to see that moving forward. Certainly I'm waiting on the final breakdown of the grant amounts. It's kind of just given out as like a bulk announcement. We'll see how they broke it out between the two projects from what we had requested. So,
Well, and that was the interesting, when they were talking about any changes to community crossings grants.
Yep.
You know, one of the things I think the legislators considered was if you didn't have the wheel tax,
Yep.
you would not be
Oh.
eligible for.
yeah, I believe that there's the
Different
legislation
language
right
in it.
now is that they're going to require a wheel tax, surtax, which Adams County has. I haven't compared ours to what is the minimums in that request. I don't know that that's gonna require you make any changes, but I think you should still.
Are
be
they including
compliant.
minimums?
There are minimum amounts, so you can't just put it in and put something fractional. There are
That
minimum
they haven't
amounts.
decided on yet.
Okay.
Yeah, all that stuff is still up in the air, obviously.
Right.
So
Okay.
one of the things that's in community crossings would be a potential change to the match amount. So I think one of the things that's been bandied about is going from 75-25 for communities our size to an 80-20, which would mirror the federal aid request. It would be a large change for us, but any change is a good one at that.
At least it's
standpoint.
in the right direction. yeah.
Yep, so it kind of limits what we have to have as far as what's on hand. It'll benefit communities that are in tighter financial situations, certainly. So, but no, I'm quite happy with that. That gets us, our first grants for the year. We're waiting on some federal aid announcements. That's my next note here. I haven't heard back yet as far as the announcements. There's been an email that received that I'd sent you regarding requests. They had about $100 million in funding more requested than what's available, so they're certainly looking at that. So it's gonna be competitive. Certainly I've got my fingers crossed for us on these two projects, but, remains to be seen. So we made a good pitch. I'm confident in what we put together, and we've got a good budget, so hopefully we're well received by the state and the use of those funds. So,
Well, and I, obviously you've been pretty aware of what they're looking for, so. You know, I think competitive wise, that should still put us at the top of the.
yeah, we've got the funding, we've got the management team here as far as doing the project. I've got experience in doing these and a track record that always helps. They want to make sure if they're going to give you funding for a project, they want to make sure that you do the project. They don't want to grant you money 5 years out and then 2 years in, you get weak in the knees and decide that you're not going to do the project, because then they have to reimburse the funds back to the federal government, and it takes the money out of Northeast Indiana. So that, from an NDOT's perspective, that's a loss for them. And that certainly goes against your potential for future funding, because you cost the state potentially millions of dollars
Right.
by misusing and misappropriating. They don't look at it. They're not sympathetic because of that lack of fortitude in doing the project.
Sure.
So, and then something, I didn't get it on my notes, but it was something that I wanted to make mention of. We did get reimbursement on the small structure 53 at Boulder 53 on 100 South that was struck. And an accident, the insurance company did make restitution to us, so we were received the funds. Actually just got deposited yesterday, so just wanted to make you aware of it. So the county was made whole. I'll have to send something off to the prosecutor's office because they
That
asked
goes right
about
back
us.
into county general, right?
Yep, oh, I'm sure it does. No, actually, it'll go right to back in Cume Bridge, so.
Oh, does it?
Yep. So that money went
Okay.
back to the Cume Bridge. There is a fund for us to receive that into. So there's not a lot of funds for it. I don't get a lot of those, thankfully. Knock on wood, I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of crashes that we have to do those sort of claims, but,
Yeah,
Thankfully,
that's
it
good.
wasn't too bad.
You know, a lot of things get reimbursed, not back to a line item, but to
yeah, it just kind of gets thrown into the pot and then we have to go back to the appropriation. So we're able to receive that back into Cume Bridge. It shows as a net loss or a loss right now as far as the expenses going out, but at the end of the day, the public's back to zero, so. But it takes about 6 months from when the crash happened to when we've got our final check, but that's part of the
yeah.
process. All right, any questions for me?
Do we have I might have missed this. Do you have any 80-20 down the road as far as bridge funding is concerned?
We've got 2 applications right now in the works and that I'm waiting to find out about.
Okay.
I have one that we've been awarded 80-20 federal funds. That's Bridge 27 on Pickle Road. And we have 2 more, Bridge 93 and 105. So
Okay.
000 3 South and 000 just north of Monroe. They're just east of Polk Street. Those are the 1 awarded, 2 applications, and then we're kind of in a holding pattern on what we want to try to pursue maybe then later this November. It depends on if both I have are awarded or not. So
Okay, thanks, Nate.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yep,
Thanks,
thank
Nate.
you.
Stan, in answer to what you were asking about going right back into the line, budgets in county general, it would have to go back into county general, even if it was from a line. But then that department or whoever, wherever it came from, would have to request an additional, which as a matter of fact, is what's gonna happen in April with the sheriff's reimbursement for the vehicle that was totaled. We've received that money back into county general, but they already have an additional for April to put it back into the line.
Okay.
So just wanted to explain that a little bit.
Good. Brad, what do you have for us this morning?
Hey,
Good
morning.
morning, guys. Look at that. No
No
papers. No
papers, what the
So,
not even up there, brother.
per the sheriff's request, I'm gonna keep it quick. The big thing I'd like to announce today is, dust control, since we opened up our oil beds. $2.96 a foot. For dust control, and we are taking those from now until May 15th.
Did that change?
It actually went down 4 cents this year.
Really?
Yeah, it was $3 last year, now to $2.96.
How many dust control projects did we have last year?
I think there might have been 18,
18?
and it varies in length,
Yeah.
foot, but minimum of 100.
Okay, now,
So
what is the length of dust control, is that up to the individual that's wanting it done?
Yes, the minimum of 100, and then we give them flags and they set it out. I mean, they tell us how long they want, and then they'll go
Okay.
set the flags out where they want.
Okay, and it's, whose responsibility is it to pay?
That, landowner, homeowner, whoever wants it done.
So they just, so if they want 100 feet,
Yep,
it'd be $2.96 a
Yep.
foot. That's what they're charged.
yep, and they're just paying for the oil. They are not paying for our labor,
Labor, okay.
so.
Okay.
Then just beautiful weather. It's nice. We finished stockpiling our stone for chip seal just yesterday. So today the guys are doing some odds and ends. We've had 2 crews out patching potholes. Obviously, they're bad right now. And tomorrow we're also starting on our stone roads. So doing our normal spring, and we did some grading last week and the week before, but now it's the grading, the hole in the stone, build them up.
Good deal.
So,
Very good.
I would like to commend, on the high water gates that I've seen erected.
yeah.
Looks good. And if I'm not mistaken, you had some of the Adams Central FFA members weld those together?
Correct. Adam Central, FFA, they welded them together. And, then we took them and got them powder coated and that, so the last.
Well, they look
Yeah.
great.
They did a really good job. They did. Those kids, and they enjoyed it. You know, it's something they're not used to.
Right.
They don't usually work on that kind of thing, so they really enjoyed that.
That's a win-win.
Yep.
You
I
did
thought that was a good idea.
50, was it
I can't remember if it was 50 or 54. But
Yeah,
It was 50,
yeah.
around 50 gates.
on 50
Yep.
gates?
And we don't have them all out yet.
Yeah.
Just because when it was frozen,
Sure.
it's hard to get them.
They got a super
Yeah.
program down there in FFA.
Yep, they do.
Instructor got a nice award here not very long ago too.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Brad.
Do you have something? Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks, Brad. Rick, checked in with me, said he really didn't have anything for us. Ed, you're up.
Morning, Ed. Good morning. My name's Ed Dyer. I'm your Adams County Treasurer. I have one printer in my office.
Was that on the
You're the
list?
man, Ed. You're the
Got that out
man.
of the way.
Does
Keith.
that mean somebody's gotta get up from their desk and walk over to the printer when they? print?
Yes, every one of us.
Including the department head?
Yes, including the department.
You don't have it in your office, right?
No, it is out.
Okay.
Anyway, first thing is our monthly report. Tony has a copy at your pleasure. Everything's there, everything balances, and I just here to answer any questions and get your opinions.
I have no questions, Stan. If you're ready to make a motion, I'll second it. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm ready to make a motion. Never mind.
Second.
Stan and Doug, motion passes. Thanks.
I do have a few other things. I
Right
was not
ahead,
here last week. I was at the State Treasurers Conference. A lot of talk on this State Bill 1, lots of discussion, lots of dissension. Basically what it's going to do to the counties if it goes through in its original form. I personally think it's poor legislation. It's not tax reform. It's basically kicking
Yeah.
taxes down the road, still have to pay for them later. And there's some scenarios that would not be good for our citizens. I believe there's simpler and easier ways to approach this in my mind. Governor Brown has not reached out to me to ask my opinion, but
Obviously, that's a mistake.
we
Well,
can talk-
I think to make long story short, Ed, it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
really does. And it'll go through a lot of different steps before they come to a final discussion, if they do. Want to let you know that our office has been working with Tony and the auditor, and the abstract of records is at the state. They have been received. That took a while to get everything downloaded. They have been fully received, but have not yet been approved.
It was their fault that they weren't
Yes.
received.
There's some IT
They had some
issues.
server issues.
Yeah, there
It
was some IT
wasn't,
issues.
it wasn't our office's fault.
Tony waited, it took 2.5 days or something to get it actually all downloaded, so there's a lot of information. Everything has been sent from our office to Ironmark, which is the L&D Mailmasters company for our tax invoices. We're all on schedule. They're gonna do a final address update. We share our updates if they find a new address that's a better address, they send it to us and vice versa. So that's happening. We're still scheduled to be mailed out on Tuesday, April the 8th. They have another 7 days in there to April 15th is our drop dead date. That we will have them in our taxpayers' hands a full month before they're due on May the 12th. The scam alert that we had on a couple weeks ago, we have had no further issues with anybody that I'm aware of. I just want to thank everybody that helped me get ahead of it all. I think it was a group effort and we did get ahead of it. We got good press on it. Everybody got the word out. The sheriff did a lot of stuff on his end. We were in both papers, the radio, and then we had sent a couple of the television stations up in Fort Wayne. I do have a couple of questions, especially with what happened this morning with the IT purchases. If we're going to pay through each individual office, none of us have an IT budget. And so that's all gonna have to be worked out. And I don't really care how it's worked out, but just to let you know that there's gonna have to be some organizational means to do that. Mike has all the money in his budget basically for all this. If he wants to transfer it to the individual departments, I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it or not, but between you and council, we'll work all that out.
The auditor's office would have to look at adding budgets and lines and everything else too, so we have to look at statute and work with the attorneys and.
But none of us have budgets in our office for any IT stuff. I know I've been asking for computers on this rotating basis for a couple of years and haven't got anything. So it might be simpler once we get all this worked out, but thank you, Eric. But I don't, there's just gonna have to be something done and just so you're aware of that. And how to move forward with it for this year, or are we going to wait until the new budget session and start this next year? That's just.
It feels to me like the budgeting process has got to precede any kind of reallocation of those expenses. So it has to be baked into the budget.
But it's not just my office, it's gonna be everybody's office. And then.
But kind of on that, we've talked about this for years.
Yeah.
I mean, because Mike has been surprised by purchases that departments make that end up coming out of his budget, or invoices that he has to approve, or even receiving items that he didn't order. And so, you know, it's difficult for him, but by the same notion, the efficiency of dealing with one copier company, one paper supply company, coming out of one budget. I think that's the thing that we've always had that discussion with the auditor's office. It's like, you know, department heads and auditor both never wanted to create another line item for every single department and try and track that. So it's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
But
And
So
when
it's-
Mike was discussing like utilities, we pay that out of our office. You guys approve the utilities paid in Lao. I mean, we get the AT&T, we get FirstNet. Shannon, I think you've helped Glenda with that a little bit. So we don't know. We pay the cell phone bills as they come to us. I think the sheriff, FirstNet is divided, the sheriff and but we pay a lot of those out of Lao. So I think he would know those are being paid, because frankly, they have different due dates, and it's actually a lot of work. It was a lot of work when Bree did it. It's a lot of work now that Glenda's doing it. She has to have logins to every single Verizon, FirstNet, AT&T, all those things. She has to get in, log in, pay it on the date that it's due, and then get it to you guys for approval at the end of the month on the utilities paid in Lao. And part of that would be the cell phones and stuff that IT and Dan, is that correct on the FirstNet stuff?
I mean, Mike said, we pay a lot of that ourselves, because it's in my budget though. I have budget lines for all that stuff, and we file claims for it and so on and so forth, but It just depends on how you look at it. I mean, I know what I need, I know what I need to replace, so I know how to budget it. Unless Mike meets with every department head and they know they need, next year I'm gonna need 3 computers, I need this, he's never gonna know what they need.
And I don't think a department head would either. Like, I don't know what computers might break down over the course of a year. And like Stan said, that's been discussed since Stan was,
Yeah.
I don't even know if you were council president at the time, but
Yeah.
you worked on this years ago to try to get this done. And like you said,
But
it's
see,
a
like
tough
you-
nut to crack.
Like you just said, the department head doesn't know if a computer's gonna break down. Well, Mike doesn't know if your computer's gonna break down either.
Right.
But I
that's
think,
what it is.
I think if we were going back to, there was some discussion about building out, and Fred referenced it in the discussion today, building out a retirement program or a replacement program so that we aren't caught by surprise. And really that can be done in either place, but probably for that equipment that is gonna be replaced on a scheduled replacement, you know, that can be done out of the IT department.
And they have, IT has that list.
They have
I think
all that
Ethan
stuff.
keeps it. He has
It's
a
just-
list of,
It's just a matter of
Years
building
ahead.
out that, you know, that's been my experience with larger organizations, that the IT department handles that, so.
This has been an area of confusion for me for years and years, and I'll be the first to admit that my IT skills are very minimal. But if I were going to do something, I would go through a list of counties that's approximately our size in the state of Indiana, and I would pick out the best practices that some of those people are doing. Maybe someone has an idea that we haven't thought of. And instead of trying to create a wheel, you know, check out some other counties our size to see what they're doing.
well,
I
Doug,
know Jay County just, they have somebody that, I think their services are all
Contracted out.
contracted out.
we are the only county, and Mike will tell you this, we're the only county in the state where the IT department covers all the cities and towns in that county.
Well, and that's probably something.
We've
we
heard
need
that
to
from Mike.
reconsider.
So that's what's putting a lot of the extra
Well,
burden
that too.
on that department.
That too.
We started the process of, or Mike started the process of organizing all of the different computers, monitors, printers, and how long they have been in service.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of that info, and I have it all from my office. And and this has been for a few years now, with the mindset of using this to start the rotation. The only problem is we have not started that rotation, and everything now is 2 more years down the road. Like I have 6 computers in my office right now. I'd like to do 2 every year or 1 every year, depending on how long we're gonna keep them. But instead of doing 6 all at once, or Shelley doing 12 all at once, you know, I would like to space that out and make it a whole lot easier on everybody. But we have not started that yet. The last thing I want to say is you gentlemen are going through this judicial center and the funding. With that, I have investments, and they're listed on the report that you just approved. But I have several $1 million in investments that are in liquid money right now. It works out well that bonds are down a little bit, CDs are down a little bit, and I've pushed everything into different liquid investments in my 4 banks plus Trust Indiana. The pendulum's gonna swing to where bonds are worth a little bit more and CDs are a little bit more, and I would normally put some of that money back over there. But with the judicial stuff coming up, I am estimating and guessing that you gentlemen are gonna wanna write a big check for something. Our architectural stuff, down payments
Some
on
kind of
something.
preliminary.
And I want to let you know that I want to have some direction from you. I'm gonna guess you'd want me to keep it all liquid. And it is right now. But down the road, if the bonds and CDs get a little higher, I probably would still want to keep it liquid, even though I would lose a little bit of interest because you guys are going to want to spend some.
Then that would have to come over to us to
Yes.
disperse however they see fit out of a line.
And then, I mean, it's nothing you need to make a decision on today.
Yeah, I
by
would
any
say
means.
the jury's still out on that.
But there's a couple different ways, and you know more than I do even on the financial part. We don't have to necessarily spend it out of our account. We could borrow against it or use it as part of a bond against it, you know, as a down payment, and keep it in our funds and keep making interest. But those are some of the additional things. There's a lot of stuff to talk to, but the financing is definitely a part of it.
Sure.
And I have, like I say, several million tucked away that we can start to use on it.
Good.
Okay, good deal.
Well, I
Thanks, Ed.
appreciate that and keeping that project in consideration as it moves ahead. So we'll know more after next month's
Yeah.
council meeting, I think.
Any other questions for me?
Yeah.
Good, Ed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, what have you got for us?
Well, I was in DC last week for a conference, NAGO conference, National Association of Counties, representing AIC, the board I sit on. And two things that were brought up that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. One's a kind of important one, one's kind of out there. FEMA, you know, they're talking about getting rid of FEMA, which is going to push a lot of the stuff probably down to the local level. Bernie Byers, the Allen County Homeland Security person, he is representing Indiana. He wants to sit on some of those talks to try and see, because they said if it's gonna come down, it's gotta be slow and it's gotta be planned and stuff like that. Part that I really wanted to bring up to you, you might wanna talk to our state senator Marlon Sutton. One of the things they're talking about with the new budget system is they wanna tax municipal bonds. Meaning that bond that you wanna do for the courthouse, we might have to pay tax on it, which is gonna add millions. Or not maybe millions, but a lot more. So you might wanna talk to our representative about.
Is that a state or federal?
That's the federal. We already talked to, as AIC, met with Banks and Banks and Young and told them that we are totally against that. You're already taxing us enough, then that's just gonna add more local tax.
How in the world would they tax a bond issue like that?
So I know
What they could do is they could eliminate the
it's taxes.
tax-free status
Yes.
to the holder of the bond on the interest, which would drive the interest rate up higher. And that would impact us negatively if the interest earned on that was no longer tax-free, that would drive a higher interest rate to yield the same return to the bondholder. So I could see how that could happen.
So I just wanted to make sure, let you guys know, so if you wanted to let Young, Sutsman and Banks know that, you know, fine, because it.
When you say, you say they, who's they? I mean, who is they that would want to increase the tax on
The
bonds?
federal, I don't know who submitted I don't know who submitted the proposal to get rid of the tax exempt, or
Could be part of the budget discussion that Congress is having right now. I don't know.
if it's on the federal level.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure, I knew you guys were talking about something and I better bring this to your attention to
Yeah.
throw another wrinkle into your. plan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where, as part of that discussion, I would think Baker Tilly would be just right on top of that
Yeah.
discussion.
So, and along with that, like I said, now this conference I went to, did not have to spend any out of my funds for this, but if I want to go to the NACO conference and the annual conference in July, I would have to pay some of that out of my funds. And the two issues I would have is one, the flight. You guys would have to approve if I would get a flight, and then the hotel stay. On our policy, you can't spend more than 199. And usually those
What is it right
hotels
now,
are usually
$199?
couple, $200-300.
It was
So,
over
I had to-
200. It's under 200 something right now.
So this is something we might need to look at in the short year, so if you allow me to go, so.
Good.
Okay,
Thanks, Tom.
yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Mark, come on down.
Oh, he's got papers.
So two are actually simple subdivisions that just move lines,
Okay.
new lots. And one is the major that we heard in front of Plan Commission.
Okay.
A little bit. Start with that. The major that, what major they had to request for a rezone, that came in front of you, I think, last meeting or the meeting before. So this is just completing the mission. This is for your whole lot right here. Been turned into 2 lots.
And
Get
there is
to
an
the second
easement
one.
back there.
Yep, having 30-foot easement to get to.
Move we accept Harmon Boniface.
Okay,
Second.
the motion passes.
100 north and 200 to 2 lots.
That's on,
200 east. Just, 200 north. 200 north. Who are the beneficiaries?
We're the owners.
It's in between the corporation.
Okay, it would just be, it's both of you, the photo IDs or your driver's license, and then we'll take care of getting.
Yeah.
It sadly is not something that has
The
the
son
same
of-
size, the federal government
Building
is
the front line.
requiring. Get it done, so, and I mean, I think.
So all this is.
You can do it, but
You guys probably got a form on it. Click, click, click.
well, yeah, it's all,
Right.
it's all online.
All
The
this
only
is
thing
this
that she'll
lot,
need from you is,
picking up this
copy
area.
of Your photo ID and your wife. Attached to that.
Just this one. Picking up. See, this is kind of a swampy area. I don't know. They kind of follow this curve, whatever's going on there. I don't
I
know.
walked right here, but
They wanted to add that to this.
immediately should.
Add to this. Don't know. Why, I don't know.
Okay, is this owned by the same people here?
Well, our allegation, you know, kind of shady.
Hmm. I'm not, no.
Purchase
No.
by
No.
the county.
Nope, this is its own.
Hopefully, I mean, I guess I could walk
I mean,
back.
you're-
I think it's all family.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
over.
it's
I don't
family.
think they're.
Okay, that makes
I
sense.
think it's all- I
Okay,
don't think it's
I
all
have
names.
no problem with,
It's a bunch of cars.
I have no problem with
Just one lot.
Move that we accept the car
This
east
lot just got
subdivision.
bigger. By
3.4
acres.
Oh, yeah, something to do with
That wasn't something so they could eliminate the easement or something, was it?
No, that's actually part of the lot, even, not even an easement. It's
Oh.
actually.
Oh, yeah, something to do with those
It's
wet
actually
land
state.
there.
Yeah, I don't, I didn't understand
the car when you're looking at.
Okay, Doug already made the motion, just need your second, Stan.
Second.
Okay, motion passes.
And that was car.
Yes.
Okay.
Are these things ever not approved? I've never seen one that's been turned down.
Well, that, usually if there's a problem, it comes through the plan commission.
Yeah, it's before this.
It's already
It
been
wouldn't have
looked at
gotten
by
to
so
you
many
until,
people
that's
that-
right, yeah.
Yeah,
If I'm
you
doing my
always-
job
so
right,
many
it
of
should
them
be,
have
it should be
that.
correct before it gets here. This is just a matter of sport. The fun part is, I don't know if we're talking about this. I don't even know if you guys have time. We just always have.
Work on all this.
Even Pat has like, yes. All this stuff.
It makes us feel important.
Well, you are important.
They got the lines on there.
So, this again, just moving. This line, which is here and here, no change. This that came up and turned left, now comes up and turns
All
right.
that's probably the same at some point.
Goes this way.
We just go up. Look, we don't have to even drive.
So
around.
this lot got bigger.
Okay.
That one's
This lot
small.
got smaller.
Yeah.
Still
I
over
always laugh.
14 acres.
I enjoy
This
seeing
one's
it.
up to 53. almost
Whatever,
54.
just because of the buildings there.
I'm not sure why they did that. Sometimes it's financial.
So it's a line, I guess.
Yeah. Trading land or something.
Maybe this guy needs some money, so he parted of some
Huh.
property. I don't know that, but that
Gotcha.
happens.
So we've got access, we got, what's that lot size? That's still,
Right, and that one's not part of it.
Change.
and that didn't change.
That's not even part of the subdivision. That was always that way.
Okay, motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Stan and Doug. Thanks, guys. Motion passes.
Trying to get water and sewer hooked up right now. In fact, I'm headed there. So the city guys acting sure up there, but they said I've been struggling with that the last 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't understand it. Been out there multiple times yesterday. Multiple guys show up from the city. Yeah, we need to, yeah, you'll need a curb, yeah, you'll need a curb stop and things. And they get in their truck and leave. We're like, we're wanting to hook it up. Yeah, we're here, we're
Yeah.
digging. And then they don't come back and they don't give guidance and they don't say what they're gonna do. I don't know. So I had a little call to a higher up to about an hour ago.
Is it water or
Things are
sewer or
happening.
both?
So,
We didn't have to put a new tap in, did we? Sewer tap?
So that was the question. We kept asking, do we want us to tap into the old thing that's still in the ground? Do we put a new one in? They would never give any concrete answer and then they would just leave. And so I poked the bear a little bit higher up, about like I said, an hour ago, and
So was
somebody's
Josh,
out there right now.
was Josh out there?
He's been out there. He's out
And he
there
would
now.
make a decision, right?
No, really wish he was. But we're getting, I think it's happening right now, but I'm texting Loganville.
All right.
Were you telling them some of the extra cost on the transportation grant?
I haven't. Do that now?
Well, council was asking and I wasn't sure what it all was.
I know, I wish, I'm sorry, I wish,
But if you
I
wanna,
just need to put that on my calendar to be.
if you
at their
wanna
next
tell the
meeting.
commissioners, we'll have it on recording, council can watch it. If you wanna just go over briefly some of the overages, I think Luganville was one.
Can I make a list before I do that? Like do it next week, maybe?
That's
Just
fine.
because I don't.
That's
I don't
fine,
want-
yeah.
If I do it off the cuff, I'll miss something.
He had
Yeah.
another foundation and he
Yeah,
had
we
extra work.
found an extra foundation that didn't exist.
They had to blanket the concrete.
I know that, like, the building was quoted just with white, siding and doors, and then when I chose the colors, but I had them approved, so they matched out there. Anyway, the brown cost more, the overhead doors, the walk doors, they charge more for color. We went with 2 windows extra. There was only 2 on the print, but I put in 4.
So it's your fault.
It's all my fault. I had to put blankets on top of the concrete, which the guy had to bring them, the crew brought them from Grable and covered the concrete and then uncovered it, which because of weather. We paid for a pumper truck, to pump the floor because we couldn't get close to it because of weather. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things that were
Typical
all.
project.
All stuff that would have been included in a contingency if you just
Yeah,
had one.
And I had said that, I would've said that today if I could have made it.
Yeah.
The first time I bid it, when it was just kind of like getting close to what it would really be, I threw in a 10% contingency.
Yeah.
We didn't officially do that any
Yeah.
place or time.
Yeah.
But I think we're still within that.
I think if there wouldn't have been any add-ons, it'd probably been the first one in their
Well-
recorded history.
I ordered, so the other day, I haven't picked them up yet, I ordered plastic bollard covers for the pipe bollards.
right.
It'll be brown and look nice.
Yeah.
Nobody bid that.
Sure.
So that'll be a bill that I'll probably pay and then I'll turn it in.
Sure.
This is from the ready mix.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Good deal.
Typical,
Yeah,
okay.
understood.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, Clayton, what have you got for us this morning?
The only thing I have is,
Sure, thanks.
I'll just give to you to sign. It's the interlocal agreement for animal care and control services. It's the same that we normally provide to the municipalities. This one is for the town of Monroe. I guess the irrelevant portion,
$600.
it's $600 annually to the county. And in exchange for the sheriff or the animal control officer to, impound stray animals. So.
And I
just,
believe that just leaves us with Decatur and Geneva.
Correct. Yeah, we're still just waiting on theirs. So I'll follow up with their relevant counsel to have them get it signed, and then I'll bring them to you guys as well for approval and signature.
I know when we initially did these agreements, I went around and approached the town councils at all the entities.
Mhm.
Is there any of them that are asking for an appearance?
I was actually at Monroe on Thursday night and went over that with the town of
Okay.
Monroe, so I don't know that anybody's asking for it, but I try to make it to all the town of Monroe meetings and we just talked about it Thursday night.
Yeah, if Geneva or Decatur requires an appearance by the county, I'm more than happy to go to their meetings and present.
Okay.
In conjunction with their attorneys.
So are you ready for some action on this one, or you want to put all 3 together?
We might as well just do it piecemeal each time we get one. So yeah, if you guys can
I move
approve
we
this.
accept the recommendation from the attorney on the
Town of Monroe's.
is it Monroe's?
Second that.
Yeah.
Monroe's.
Okay, motion carries. Doug and Stan. Thanks, guys. I did have they did ask me a question on Thursday night. Their understanding, and not, I don't know if it qualifies as a complaint, but maybe the sheriff can answer this. Their understanding is that in order for them to place a call to pick up a stray, that the stray has to be contained before they can actually place a service call to have the stray serviced by animal control. Is that
That is the case, and that's always been set by animal control.
okay?
That's how it's always been done, and I think it's a condition on them.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's been that way.
Has been
unless
that
it's
way. that
changed.
The stray, whatever the stray is, has to be contained before.
Contained before calling, cause I
Before
think
calling.
they brought that up because a couple weeks ago, there was a stray in Monroe that was not contained, and when people called the sheriff's office and animal
They
control
think
officer.
Animal control's gonna go out and catch it, and that's not what they do. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not in their contract to do that.
Unless you wanna redo the contract.
Okay, anything else for us, Clayton?
No, not for me, unless you guys have any questions or
I don't know that I do.
pretty short.
I'm
for
good.
me.
Good.
You know, it's always good to have you helping with the situations, and I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
Shannon, what have you got for us?
I don't have anything, but thank you.
Okay.
County opposites.
Yeah,
CBB, soil and water,
the-
I'm not sure.
yeah, they'll be here for this discussion afterwards.
Is it a post? Okay.
Yeah. Anything else from Sheriff? What have you got for us?
Just real quick, because I know you got enough to do. Just the county app, just a headline from last week. Checking my analytics, we're averaging anywhere from about 115 to 120,000 hits a week. That our citizens are hitting that app, looking at stuff. So again, I just really urge you, let's find the funding source for that, because that's out of that. I mean, not all those people are calling me to see in jail, but it is saving us hundreds of phone calls a week of people just calling, asking questions that we find out on the app. So countywide, all of our offices, I think it's well worth the investment. I don't know, did the health department reach out to you, Steve?
I have not heard from them now.
Okay, I called her
IT
afterwards.
did.
Pardon?
IT, Mike Brown was, I think I told you, have you
Yeah.
checked with him?
Yeah, but I mean,
Do you have any comments, negative type?
no, because it doesn't involve our network.
Yeah, I know,
So-
but
Yeah.
he talked to me about it and I thought,
But I'll reach out to him again. But health department's looking at, see if they had any grants that could help fund this.
Said I asked
Because-
EMA the same question.
Yeah,
well, the
so
one thing that he suggested was opioid money.
opiate,
Yeah.
unrestricted funds of opioid could be used for it. That's obviously, that's up to you guys' call. I can bring
Is that
that up
for
at our next,
the initial setup,
board.
the opiate 14 for the
Their
setup, 5
initial
year.
setup and maintenance, cause we'll keep getting opioid money.
Okay, I'd be
Yeah,
in
so-
place.
I just want to let you know, it is working. I want to promote this because like I said, I took the challenge with Steuben County and size of us, they're getting 330,000 hits. So I'm going to promote this a little bit more. I just think it's well worth the investment. It solves the issues for our departments that want to try and have an avenue to get information out other than Facebook and things like that, which we don't want that at. We don't want it, or you guys have made it clear, council, and Mike doesn't want that type of issue coming into our network, so.
My only question was, if we do this for the county and each department has their own tab, do we have to have somebody that centrally that's actually monitoring?
Managing it.
What do you mean by monitoring?
Well, I don't know. I guess I understood that somebody's gotta take the reins and just kind of watch over this thing a little bit. I mean,
I mean, it's the department heads, for over their tab.
so like each department head could be their own cowboy on how this works.
In a way, I mean, like I said, it's set up to where they can't really communicate back to you. It's only a one-way information out.
But initially on the app, you set up, like he had an example of a home page for the app. Somebody's gotta set that up and decide on that.
That ultimately would be your decision how that looks like, and then once you get into the tab, they have to meet with every department head to see what information, how you want that tab to break down of what you want to use it for.
But once it was set up, we wouldn't have to monitor it or manage it or
Nope.
it'd
I
be
mean,
each department that
Each
wanted
department
to.
manage their own area and the overall look of it.
Push out their own
could be-
alerts and whatnot.
Yes, and there's really nothing else to manage because the face of the app could not change without your approval.
What about for people signing up? I mean, do they have to contact somebody to sign up for it?
No, like you're gonna see, and I know I'm gonna make a sign for the 4-H fair. And in the back of my ATV, there's gonna be a big board with a scan, so people watch the parade can take their cell phone, go boop, and they're members. It's that easy to sign up. And you don't have to give any names, email address, nothing, so it's not Big Brother keeping an eye on you. I have no idea who signs up for my app.
I downloaded the sheriff's app and all I did was go out to the app store and Googled Adams County Sheriff's Department, Indiana,
There.
and saw the app and downloaded the app, and the sheriff doesn't even know that I'm on it, or nobody knows that I
And like I
can
said, in the back of that
access his
ATV,
information.
they take the picture of the QR code and they're members. And there's nothing nobody has to do. It's that simple.
I was impressed with and this is just the way you manage it, I'm sure, but, how current the information was that was available on the app.
So could we put a QR code on our website, on the county website?
Put it on your business card, Stan, hand the
Yeah.
business card out, they can scan the QR code and pull our app and
And the company
download our app.
provides that digital media release and stuff to you. It's not that we have to design, they do it for you.
Part of
Well,
that setup fee.
We got a JRAC meeting coming up on the 7th. We could talk to them and see if they've got a recommendation to put that out through.
Correct.
You know, it might be an advantage for them, for Ian and stuff too.
It can be, yeah. Community corrections have their own, it puts their rules on there, their eligibility requirements, and it's one-stop shopping for the whole county. I really think it'd be great. And again, the county's app is cheaper than mine. Because of my integration that I have with their CAD system and offender watch, stuff like that. That's what makes it expensive building
Right.
those bridges. So for the county to have it less than what mine is, it's a great tool. It really is. So I just want to put that up on your front burner again. I'll get with Mike, I'll check with the health department.
Is there any urgency for us to decide?
No. It's just, no, because then we still have to figure out the funding source. It's just,
Okay,
just keep it on the front burner. That's all.
it's not like if you sign up by Friday, you'll get 50% off.
No, there's none of that. If so, and now I can twist their arm a little bit, see if you want me to do that. I mean, see what I can get, squeeze out of them, so.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, there's thousands and thousands of calls. These are all locals in the county?
I don't know that answer. It's anybody who's signed it could be people who used to live here and have moved away, but they still wanna know what's going on at the jail, who gets arrested.
You think the majority come from within the county?
Yes, I do.
Pretty much the vast,
Yeah, I
that's
do.
a lot in 1 week?
That's our average.
150,000, 200,000?
115 to 120,000 hits a week that app gets.
That's astounding.
Well, Steuben County, same size, they get 330. And I'm a little mad, I'm that far behind, so I'll work at it, I'm failing. So that's all it was, gentlemen, just wanna bring it up to your
Thanks,
attention
Sheriff.
again.
Anything else from the public? Guys, what else have we got to consider today?
I don't have anything.
Well, and you were here, we will plan on being on the agenda for council next month at their
Good.
meeting. and
Good
do a
deal.
Presentation for that, so I'll try and have something back for you on the structural assessment. And
Good.
stuff.
You mean a schedule of when they're gonna come?
Probably,
Well,
they were
first
giving
I
us
wanna
a
get a
proposal,
cost.
cost.
I wanna
Cost
get an
proposal.
estimate of
Yeah,
what it
okay.
costs.
Yeah, figure out where we're gonna find
And
it.
I'll bring that back to you.
Good deal.
I have nothing else. Stan, are you done?
Yep.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second, we're adjourned. Thanks, guys.
The only thing I forgot, I handed you guys a list of all the vehicle list.
Right.
I had given Doug already.